Hello there. How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me out there? Hey now, hey now. Let me get this kind of plugged up right here. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's good old CHH here. Y'all got me solo tonight. I haven't done a solo show in, I don't know, it feels like probably a year or so. So I wanted to kind of hop on tonight while I had an hour or so. Hang out with you guys, answer some questions, talk to y'all about physical media. I feel like I haven't answered questions from the chat in a while. So I wanted to do a live show with you guys, and here we go. Just got done doing a Unita After Dark. If you're a patron, you get access to that. So yeah, so what's going on, guys? Questions tonight, whatever you guys want to talk about. Physical media is obviously something we can discuss, in bigger detail if you guys would like to. As you guys know, I like to brand myself, so here's my background with a bunch of Planet CHHs in the back. Let me see who's with us tonight, and we'll kind of get started. We got Clay 3613, Adrian James. We got Sean Sr., Saturn Video. JG, what's up, player? Thank you for hopping on Unita with us. Katrina, hey, Katrina. Ryan, what's up? PP Dangler, what's up? Witch Hunter. Antonis, what's up? Sam Thomason, what's up? Dave Vanderhoff, what's up, man? Jeff Shushdart. However you say your last name, what's up, man? Don Morton, how are you? Robzilla. Brandon, what's up? Justin Smith, what's up? Punisher Batman fan, what's up? Fight the Good Fight, how are you? Winter Steel, what's up? Muzz Zach, what's up? How are you? David, what's up? Joe Reese, Robzilla, Eric, Scatterbrain. Good to see everybody here tonight. Glad you guys for hopping on. Fozrep, what's up, man? K-Dog. Yeah, how is everybody? It's good to have you with me tonight. Like I said, you guys have got me for about an hour. Let's just talk. This is your show. Questions and answers. And we'll get started. Cheers. Drinking an Angry Orchard tonight. After this show, I've got a review. My Best Friend is a Vampire. I'm going to have that review out. Patrons will get access to that tonight. And then I'm going to start pulling out decorations, Halloween decorations in the closet. Me and Cindy are going to decorate the house tonight. Completely decorate the house for Halloween tonight. I think it's time. C-Red says, what did you think of Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares? My review is up on the channel now. If you want to go, guys, put it on a watch later. I just reviewed this. Sensational documentary. This is the Walmart Steelbook. Pretty happy with it. It's kind of lightweight for a Steelbook. I don't know if they're using some kind of different material, but if you'll notice, if you're a Steelbook guy, you have a number of them. It felt a little lightweightish. Not a major complaint because it's still a nice Steelbook. But really loved it. Check out my review on my channel. Adventures of Big Daddy J. How are you, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Robzilla says, can I live with you? No. But you can watch all the videos and, oh, that reminds me. Turn on my ghost. I got a ghost the other day, PP Dangler with a $2 super chat, $2.99 super chat. Thoughts? All cheerleaders died. No spoilers. Have I seen that? To be honest with you, man, I don't know that I've seen that. Let's see. 2013. I might have saw it when it came out. Okay, I remember Amanda Cooper in this. To be honest with you, dude, I don't remember much about this. A rebel girl signs up a group of cheerleaders to help her take down the captain of their high school football team, but a supernatural turn of events throws the girls into a different battle. God damn it. I'm going to have to watch that again. I might have seen that. If I did, it was years ago. That pool scene looks familiar, but I can't give a comment on it one way or the other, to be honest with you, dude. I'm sorry. Thank you, though, for the $2.99. PP Dangler. Ask me about another movie. I'll answer it again for you. We got Nick in the chat. What's up, Nick? It has been a long time since we've talked. This is the apple, crisp apple. I like to have these every now and again. I'm not a big drinker. Every once in a while, 1, 2, maybe every week and a half or so. Brian says, any idea why none of the Rob Zombie movies outside of 3 from Hell have gotten a 4K yet? The House Steelbook from last year should have gotten one. There's a lot of speculation. A lot of people think that Rob himself is a big reason why. Rob himself has been fairly vocal about being anti picture quality. He's gone so far in other interviews to be like, I tell people, don't get the Blu-ray of Devil's Rejects. It kind of looks too nice. Just get the DVD. I don't like my movies to look too nice. 3 from Hell came out on 4K because it was a new movie, and I almost wonder if like it just wasn't even something he was aware was going to happen. Then there's other people that are like, Rob Zombie does not have that kind of control. It's not up to him. So I don't know. It's a good question. I think maybe they have approached Rob. Lionsgate has approached Rob in the past with the idea of doing it. Maybe he's just like, I'm not really into that, because a lot of times they may try to do like director approved stuff with that, and he might have shot it down before. I don't know. It would be nice to actually just hear him talk about that, because I think a lot of people want House on 4K, Devils on 4K. And it's interesting because House of Thousand Corpses, the Blu-ray, if you guys own that movie, it's truly one of the best looking Blu-rays ever. That movie looks pristine. It looks absolutely pristine. It's remarkable how good House of Thousand Corpses looks on Blu-ray. So I imagine if you got it on 4K, it would just be even better. But I don't know. It's a good question. It's a very good question. Unfortunately, 3 from Hell is the only 4K that we've gotten from Rob's movies. Thoughts on the Exorcist trailer, Cisco? So, I've talked about this a little bit. I'll keep it fairly brief. So, my issue is there's a few arguments. There's some people that like the trailer. There's other people that say this doesn't feel like The Exorcist. For me, it's interesting. I don't necessarily need it to feel like The Exorcist, like the first movie in a sense. My thing is The Exorcist is a very original film. So when I saw this trailer, I wanted to feel like I was seeing something that was somewhat that original. The issue for me was the trailer for the new Exorcist film. I feel like I've seen that movie already, and it doesn't really seem that scary. Now, that's somewhat of a moot point. I'm 31. Most people aren't scared of movies anymore because the horrors of real life are way worse than what any kind of movie can give to us. But the issue is I didn't feel any sort of threat from it, and it didn't win me over that much. That being said, of course I'm going to go see it and everything, but I wasn't too thrilled with the trailer. I'll keep it. That's short and simple. Do you think they're going to put Exorcist 2 on 4K? They probably will, because Scream Factory seems to be going through a number of titles. It's interesting that they actually did 3 before 2. If you would have asked me that a year ago, I probably wouldn't have told you that they would have done Exorcist 3 on 4K before 2, to be honest with you. So I'm actually kind of surprised that 2 hasn't gotten one yet. House is more of a music video and Devil is more of a Western. Yeah, and I like House the most. I really like it. Did you see the Firefly family Steelbook coming to Walmart? I did. I pre-ordered the Halloween 1 and 2 Steelbook just to be safe. Now, they're all probably going to show up at the Walmart stores. But I got a little nervous maybe because all those Steelbooks sold out online. The Saw Steelbook, the Leprechaun Steelbook, they're all sold out online, the pre-orders for them. So I was like, well, let me pre-order the Halloween one, just because I know of all of them, that was the one I wanted the most. But I think they're pretty cool. They kind of have like a 30s kind of like horror Universal monster look to them, and I dig that. So I definitely want the Rob Zombie Halloween one. The Rob Zombie Firefly one, that's the only one I was probably like, I'm not interested in getting that, because I got the Target exclusive Firefly family Steelbook, and that was incredible. That was maybe 2 years ago when that came out, and it's a sensational looking Steelbook. If you have that, it's kind of like red. I really like that. Eric says, I'm excited for the Uni Candles releases on Friday. So, guys, check it out. Friday, we've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, 2, 3, and 4 melts. Check out tomorrow's video. I'll have a promo showing everything that we have. We haven't posted on Instagram yet. And then there's going to be a You Need a Horror Podcast double pack you can buy. It'll be a Nick, like pumpkin kind of wax melt, and then a Christian Return of the Living Dead wax melt that are packaged as You Need a Horror Podcast. And I'm selling those together for a nice price. So we'll have 5 buying options you can get tomorrow. You can get 4 Texas Chainsaw Massacre melts, which I'm super excited about, and then the You Need a Horror Podcast melts. But you buy the You Need a Horror Podcast melts as a set. Jamie, how are you? It's good to see you. If guys don't mind dropping a like, that would be kick-ass. I really appreciate that. It does help the videos and the algorithm and keeps me motivated to do live streams like this. Dylan says, it doesn't seem likely we'll get Zombie Halloweens on 4K now at all, at least not from Scream. Well, Dylan, it's interesting. I definitely wouldn't say so now. I was for sure we were going to get something, and my instincts were half right. I knew we were going to get something from Rob Zombie this year. Unfortunately, it's more Blu-rays, and it's from these Lionsgate Universal Monsters styled artworks, which is cool, and the prices are pretty fair on them, but I'm with you guys. Trust me, I want them on 4K as well. Looks like we got another super chat. Antonis, thank you for the $10 super chat. I saw The Bride of Chucky 4K will have a making of, and I'm so excited. I may buy the release just to watch. Excuse me, I apologize. I may buy the release just to watch the making of, and I'm hoping it's new footage. It's my favorite horror movie ever. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, I know I'm super excited for the Bride of Chucky 4K. I have Bride, Seed, and Curse pre-ordered. I actually didn't pre-order Cult. That's really my least favorite, is Cult. But I'll probably break down like the weak-minded chump that I am. Thank you so much, Antonis. Let me give you a little something for that. Here's one of my favorites.
With all these nicknames, everyone that I accumulate like 3 pounds of fat.
Thank you, Antonis. God bless you, man. Thank you, and PP Dangler for your super chat. This is a good thing that Drago's, and I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents on this. Drago says the Halloweens 1 and 2 wish they would say which cuts. It's getting annoying that the other countries can get the other cuts, but us gets less than great releases. Drago, my money says you were going to be getting the director's cuts of Halloweens 1 and 2. They have seemingly become the go-to cuts of these films. And that's my bet. I understand that is a turnoff for a lot of people. I've really gotten to where I don't really. I may have somewhat of a preference, but it's not enough for me to be like. My issue is I feel like with the Rob Zombie, and I'm not talking about people in this chat. You know, all you guys here are pretty. I got a smart audience for sure, and you guys don't jump down people's throats about this kind of stuff. But I feel like for the longest time on the internet, I would deny my enjoyment of the Rob Zombie films just because it was really unpopular to say that. Now I'm at an age now, I'm not old, but I'm 31. I could give a fuck. But there was a time where like I really just kind of really didn't say much about the Rob Zombie films. Then it got to where I would say I enjoyed, the theatrical cut of X, Y, or Z for both movies. And now the truth is I've always enjoyed those films. The Rob Zombie Halloween films. I always did, but it was just, dude, you really couldn't say it without people just laughing you out the room. So now I'm at a point where I really don't give a fuck, So I've always liked them, but I understand that there are differences with those cuts, and people certainly prefer the theatrical cut to, say, Halloween's 1 and or 2 for a number of reasons. It's not like it's just one reason, because those movies, too, especially, there's different scenes. They play out completely differently, sometimes with no audio and a song playing over the scene. It's different. I understand that. But my money says you're going to be getting the director's cuts. That's what I'm saying. So, thank you, Drago, for the comment. Are you planning on getting more tattoos? I don't know. That's a good question. I have a few. So I've got my Halloween arm right there. Right. Then I've got my Blair Witch tattoo and my Blue Oyster Cult tattoo. One of my favorite bands of all time. I was thinking about getting maybe like some Alice Cooper eyes right here in my arm. I don't want to do any what I call the job killers. Covering up. I don't want to go past the sleeve length yet. But I don't know. My wife has actually gotten a lot more tattoos than me. She's really taken to like getting tattoos often. She has a lot more than me now. She's got them on her legs, her calves, her arms. She's getting pretty covered in tattoos. So the Disc Father hinted today that Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is coming out, but not as a box set. Thoughts? Scatterbrain, my thing was I thought that for sure we were going to get at least part 1 next year on 4K. At this point, I'm likely to just take whatever I can get. That's what I'd still place my chips on. Now, if they do individual releases separately over a course of a couple months, whatever, that's fine. For me, what it really boils down to is better picture quality. Of course, I would like maybe some new interviews and stuff like that. Or like, I'm not like, it'd be nice just to hear Robert reflect on one individual film all these years later. Like, it'd be nice to see him talk about The Dream Child and be like, we rushed that movie, but we did this, or we did this, or we worked on this. I'd like that, but really the picture quality is what I'm desperately looking for to get improved, because I've said this 1,000 times. Those movies are so beautiful with all the colors and the effects work and things like that. It's a shame that we haven't, seen them in a really, really high quality yet. But our time's coming. We know it's going to happen. It's a waiting game, Excuse me. Let's get to some of these super chats. Ali, what's going on, dude? I hope you're doing good. We got to find a way to bring back the call-in show, man. I have done a couple live streams in the past where patrons could call in. And I did a Planet Dirty with that. We're going to be doing some Unita lives on Nick's channel. We might be able to work then. But what we did what we did earlier, Ali, was actually just give our patrons and people the link to join the show. And if they don't want to turn their camera on, they can just come in and do audio, and they can ask us questions that way. That's probably the next iteration, because I can't risk, obviously, I don't need to go down the path again. You know why I had to stop, but that's what we're doing. We're working towards that kind of thing. So it's a work in progress. I hope you're doing good, though, man. It's good to see you. I'm sure you're staying busy, but I'm glad to have you with me tonight, man. Cheers. Let me give you a little something. Here we go.
The best part of eating corn on the cob is when like shit sprays out of it and you hit somebody in the eye with the water.
We got Ryan OLeary here with a $4.99 super chat. God bless. Your cover songs sound great. Do you record at home or in the studio? It would be cool to have a video of your rig pedal board. Great question. So this is my interface right here. I've got a Behringer, one input for mic. It's a 2 input. I've got an instrument input and then a mic input. So I record my guitars, my bass guitars, my vocals through here. For the most part, I record all my I use GarageBand to record everything, and I'll triple track guitars, so I'll do 2 tracks on each side. For vocals, I mostly record my vocals with my Shure SM7B. It's just a powerhouse. If it's good enough for Michael Jackson, it's good enough for me. I've got a couple guitars. I've got a Fender Fat Strat. I've got a Epiphone SG, 7-string Schecter Ullman. I mostly play Fender basses. I've got some jazz basses and some P basses, 4 and 5 string, which I'm a big fan of those. I do everything right here. The songs you hear, I'm recording them in the horror room. So I set up my desk. If I'm doing a cover song, I'll pull my mic over like this. I'll set up like a dual screen thing, and then I'll, if I'm doing a cover song, if I don't have the lyrics memorized, I'll record. I can look at the lyrics and sing along with it. I've got a decent little setup. It's nice to be able to be very portable now with my recording stuff. So all the music I put on Spotify and stuff for CHH, I just dropped a song not long ago called Getaway, which is about like a woman being in an abusive relationship and she's escaping it. That song I put out, all that I did it right here at this desk. I recorded it all. It's all me. I do all the instrument stuff. So it's nice to be able to record it all at my house. And then my band Cold Canyons, we record together. We record as a band. We mic everything up. We separate the amps and stuff. We all put headphones on. We record as a band, old school, like the Toys in the Attic days. So I get the best of both worlds. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your super chat. God bless you. Let's see. Drago says, had the same feeling with Star Wars, liking movies others hated, like the prequel 10 years later. Everyone loves those films. For me, I want to make my own opinion of what I like. You know what? Here's another thing, too. I don't know how you guys feel about it. This is something if you guys want to chime in on. I think nothing can change a film more than time. And you also can't compete with time. So, and this is something I've been telling myself. Sometimes I really think, I really feel I can be too harsh and I can be unfair to stuff. And I think that's natural as human beings. We're obviously flawed individuals. There's zero chance on earth the Exorcist believer is going to be as good as the Exorcist. And it's not because of, oh, well, he's not William Friedkin. It's not, guys, you cannot compete with 40, 50 years of time. You can't. And I got to tell myself that sometimes. And sometimes I'll say to myself, you know, Christian, maybe you're just being too hard. I mean, was the trailer that bad? Because I'll talk to people and they'll say, dude, I thought it was fine. And I'm like, is it me? You know, my gut feeling on the trailer is I've seen this movie already. So that's how I feel. That's not to disparage the quality of it, but that's how I feel. But of course, this is not going to be as good as the original. You cannot compete with time. It's impossible. So, and Marlene11, thank you for the $1.99. What do you hope will be the big October release? All right, if you're talking physical media, that's a great question. I think there's still hope we could get some sort of announcement for it's not impossible. It's extremely highly unlikely, but there is somewhat of a possibility we might get some sort of, no, I don't know. No, there's zero chance the Rob Zombie films could get a 4K announcement. I'll tell you what my big October announcement is, Emeraldine. I still hope that Friday the 13th Part 2 will get an announcement for a 4K release this year on October 13th. Is it unlikely? Probably, because of the announcement of Part 1's 4K Steelbook, which people are annoyed with, and I understand that, and I agree with, and I'm not imploring people to go out and buy it, because I am different. I enjoy cataloging the releases of Friday the 13th. It's a hobby. It costs me money, but it's a hobby of mine that I enjoy doing. I buy every release of Friday the 13th, and I just have a collection of it, and I do videos on it, and I buy it so you don't have to. But no, I really hope that Part 2 still gets the announcement. In terms of a movie, I don't know. What's the competition from Exorcist Believer in terms of cinemas? I'm sure you're talking about physical media, which is what the thumbnail is about. So yeah, that's my hope, is Friday the 13th Part 2 still gets an announcement that we're going to get a 4K this year. Probably extremely unlikely, but I still have a shred of hope. Still have a shred of hope. But thank you so much. And Thomas with another one. I just watched with another $10 super chat. Excuse me. Thank you so much. I just watched a horror movie last night called The Burning for the very first time. Have you seen the movie before? Yeah, man. I saw The Burning on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, God, a decade ago. And it was interesting because it was a movie that I would hear about, because watching Friday the 13th documentaries back in the day, I would hear about, the famous story of Tom Savini saying, I walked out on Part 2 because they were going to do something with Jason, which didn't make any sense. So I went and did The Burning. Well, because of that, I was like, well, I guess I got to see this Burning movie. And I really enjoyed it. It's got a really good cast. I like the camp setting on that one as well. And there's some really, 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 really cool kills in that. One of the guys from Seinfeld's in it, which is funny. And I got the 4K from Scream Factory, which I reviewed. And it's a good looking 4K. So yeah, it's a great movie. Thank you so much, Antanas. Let me give you a little something.
It's always been Creepshow 2. One that we have is great value, so it's a Creepshow 2 also, to me, just feels like that perfect 80s time capsule. You know what I mean? Like with the Firebird and the second sequence and all that stuff. The one that we have is great value, so it's a Walmart brand. It'll flip your lunch tray.
Yes, it will flip your lunch tray. I saw we just got another super chat from PP. Let me get to a few of these, and then we'll get to yours, man. Maybe try to be a little fair, although you are paying. Let's see. I think that The Conjuring 2 is the best remake of The Exorcist ever made. The Exorcist Believer looks worse than the Pope's Exorcist for the trailer. There you go. There's a lot of people all over the map on this one. What's your favorite item on the Freddy wall? Great question. Probably my baby Fred. My baby Fred's one of my prized possessions. I saved up a lot of money for that. With horror on the box office rise now, what do you think will derail that eventually? Will it be all requels? I think Burnout, just like anything else, what's going on in movies, Justin, it would be what it was. I think John Carpenter spelled this out pretty good. Why do studios like doing remakes / requels? Call it what you will. It's all in the remake umbrella to me, because it's easy to promote. It's a recognizable name, so you don't have to pay the X amount of money to educate the audience on something the way he described it. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. But the fact of the matter is, if these movies continually make money, they'll keep making them, which is fine. You take the good with the bad, but I think what will derail it is going to be people stop going to see them. Just like anything else. We're seeing that with different movies right now, like the superhero movies. They're costing too much money to make. And they're not getting the returns they need because they don't feel what it is, Justin, is those movies, I think they don't feel like blockbusters anymore. It feels like just the next one. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we're dealing with. And that could happen with horror. Is just like, let's say, there have been a couple movies before this Exorcist movie that were getting remade. Let's say they started doing some other stuff. Like they did another Omen, and then they did another, which they've done, but like they're doing it again. That's the thing. We're in like the second cycle of these remakes, third maybe, really. Once it stops feeling like blockbusters and big deals and it just starts feeling like the next thing, people are not going to be into it. That's what I think. Let me get one more, then I'll get to the new super chats. I wish they did midnight premieres again. I want to see Saw X at 12 a.m. with a packed crowd. I miss those days. Dylan, the last time I went to a midnight showing was Expendables 2 because I was super excited to see Jean-Claude Van Damme perform as the villain in that movie. And yeah, drank a lot of coffee that day because I had to go to work the next morning. But that's how much I love Van Damme. Okay, let's get to these super chats. We'll keep going. PP again, PP Dangler. Great name. Saw fan, Saw X coming September. Over it or excited? That's a great question, PP Dangler. And here's my answer. I'm a big Saw fan. I've said this 1,000 times, so I assume you're new because I haven't seen your name too much. I'm a big Saw fan. That is my generation's, in my opinion, I look at it as my generation's Friday the 13th. Not in the sense that they're the same kind of movies, obviously, but I really cherished looking back. And in the moment, I appreciated it too. Every year there was another one. So my 9th grade year of high school, I got to see this one. And in my 10th grade year of high school, we were all excited because we got to go see Saw 4. Then my 11th grade year, Saw 5. So I grew up with those movies, and they became, when I think about the series, I'm taken back to a simpler time in my life where I had freedom and no responsibility. And so I really appreciate that looking back. So whenever a Saw movie comes out, it takes me back to a simpler time. So I understand that now with like a lot of the older people when these Halloween movies came out. I say older, I shouldn't say older, but people in their 40s and 50s, even if they don't like the movie, they really cherish the experience. And I understand that. I truly understand that now because of my relationship with Saw, growing up with that. Whether the movie is great or not, that's just the icing on the cake if it's great. But the fact that I get to now in my 30s experience Saw again when I was first experiencing these movies when I was 15, 16, 17, you can't put a price on that. So I'm super excited for Saw. It's part of my DNA at this point. Let me give you a quick one.
With all these nicknames, everyone that I accumulate like 3 pounds of fat.
And we got Ali with some heat in the chat. He says, the Conjuring series blows. Spread the word, my dude. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Ali. I like 2 a good bit. I like 2, then I would say 1, but 3 I really, really, really was upset with. So and now I think, they're making a TV show of that, which I'm pretty vocal. It's just like, "Oh my god, TV. How much I don't have time." Certain stuff I'll make the time for, but not The Conjuring is not something I would wanna make the time to watch a TV show for. Thank you, Ali. Always come in with the heat, brother. I appreciate that. Let me give you one quick one real quick. Let's see. Here's a new one that I made about Brandon.
For me, I want hockey pucks. It's got to be. I want my burgers on the grill.
Bird. I want a dog. Crispy black bird. No. Yeah, it's not real life. Hold on, Brandon.
You said I want a hockey puck on the Yes.
Yeah. You are a nasty. So the ones that nobody wants and on the plate at a cookout, you're the one getting all those. Yeah, if I'm on the grill, the burgers are gonna be fucking crispy. They're gonna be black. I do like what's the guy?
Oh man. Thank you guys for the super chats tonight. You guys are awesome. Let me see what you guys are saying about Saw. Michael says Saw is a decent franchise. Austin says, why not Spiral 2? The biggest thing is getting Chris Rock back involved in that. Because to do a Spiral 2 and not have Chris involved in it would make no sense, and that's probably not something. I take Chris Rock as kind of guy who wanted to do that movie. He did it. He's moving on. That's what I see. Drago says, saw Barbie last night. My theater was sold out. Fuck yeah, man. That's great. Toronto Freddy, what's up? I absolutely love the Robert Englund doc. It's incredible who he influenced. I agree. I keep telling people to go check it out. I didn't want to talk about what I learned in this documentary in my review because it was so crucial that I was, I'd feel like I'd be spoilering it, so I didn't say anything. Let's see. Saw is a decent franchise. I enjoy them. I want Saw 2 through 4 in 4K remastered. The current versions are so dated. Yeah, I would agree. I'd like to get this because Saw 1 looked pretty damn good in 4K. Dave G says the franchise ended for me with a 7th film. Great ending to the original story. Nightmare Films, how are you? I got a burp. Hold on. Saw 3 is really the end for me. 4 is all right. Then it went off the rails. Which franchise do you think is more impactful, Scream or Saw? Definitely Scream at this moment in time. I mean, look at, and I'm not talking about because they have movies coming out. Let me put it to you like this, David. When I went to Texas Frightmare 2 years ago, they had Nev, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy. Nev Campbell's door was backed out of the entire hotel building. The entire building. And you could say, well, that could be the same for Tobin. Sure, absolutely. Here's the difference from what I saw, though, that makes me say the answer is Scream. All of the people in line were teenage kids, early 20s. Fans of these movies when they weren't even alive yet when Scream was happening. When Scream happened, they weren't even alive yet. So Scream, I think, at this moment certainly has more of an impact. Could that change? I've actually said that I think the next Scream, because what happens is I feel like I'm the tail end of the Halloween crowd where I look at that as like what's the gold standard for horror films. And we've left that. Now the gold standard, the next gold standard now is Scream, and that's the younger-ish people's Halloween. That's the film they look at as like the gold standard film. I do think Saw could become the next one, but I don't think that'll happen for another 15, 20 years. That's what I think. What's your thoughts on Disney and them stopping physical media in Australia? It's sad. Support it in America. If you're in America, guys, or overseas in the UK or anything, please support it. Buy what you can. Buy what you want, of course. Don't just buy stuff, but buy what you can, because all good things come to an end. I'm just hoping that physical media is not going to be the end in the next 2 or 3 years. Let's see what else we got. Did you happen to pick up the 4K of Upgrade? Love that movie. Lee Winnell was a great writer-director. Side note, him screaming at the end of Saw was always chilling to me. I have a really nice second sight Blu-ray release of Upgrade, Mark, that I was pretty happy with. It's a collector's set. The chunky box is what we call them. And I never upgraded. No pun intended. I never upgraded Upgrade, but I was pretty happy with that release. So I think I'm going to stick with that for a while. I might pick up Upgrade if it gets a decent price down the road, but I'm pretty happy with that set I have. Great movie, though. I agree. Saw Oppenheimer last night. Has to be the best movie I've seen yet. I didn't understand a lot of this. This ever happened to you? Oh, you saying you didn't understand a lot of it? I totally understand, because one of my favorite movies, I say one of my favorite, I really love the movie, is Eraserhead. David Lynch. I really like Mulholland Drive. I don't totally understand those movies. I'm getting a better understanding. But yeah, I get it. I totally get that. Hot take, I think Insidious 3 was the better of the franchise. Hey, fair enough. I like Last Key a lot. There you go. My 17-year-old is obsessed with the Scream movies. Yeah, they've got a grasp on the youth. Five Nights at Freddy's had a PG-13 rating, which isn't very surprising since they want the most audience, but might do a Megan R cut for Blu-ray. It makes sense, I think, for them to do a PG-13 rating for Five Nights, because that movie, I played the game. I went through a spat where I was like, okay, I've seen enough people talk about Five. Now, granted, guys, this was like 8 years ago when Five Nights at Freddy's was really a thing. So I played the game, and I got to say, I was fairly intrigued by the game. I had fun with it for a while, but after like 2 months, I was like, okay, I'm done. But I think that the movie could be PG-13 for that, no problem. The issue is, the only thing is, the movie desperately has to be very suspenseful, right? I'm excited that Matthew Lillard is in it. You know, I grew up watching his movies. He's Shaggy to me. I loved him in 13 Ghosts. So I think it's going to be a fun movie. I don't think it doesn't need to be the greatest thing ever. It just needs to be very entertaining. So I actually think PG-13 is completely fine for a movie like that. I'm not on the R-rated train for Megan. I just thought the movie was fine. You know, I don't know what difference an R-rated cut would make for me on that, but that's neither here or there. But I think for Friday, it's a video game. It's a kid's video game. Just a suspenseful, you know, the creatures pop out at you. It's fine. It doesn't need to be rated R. No, I'm not getting the Nightbreed 4K, at least not for now. Christian, I thought you'd be interested on a documentary series called Metal Evolution. It goes over multiple subgenres of metal. One of them is glam hair metal. Dude, yeah, tell me where I could find it. I'll check it out. Usu, Tanger, Ovaltine tonight. I'm actually sipping on this Angry Orchard crisp apple. I'm just nursing it, not drinking it too fast. I mean, what are your thoughts and worth picking up the Lionsgate Steelbooks from Walmart Omega? I think a lot of people that own those films are probably going to grab them again because they're fun mementos. They have a cool, fun 30s Universal Monster design for the boxes, and I think a lot of people will grab maybe one or two, not maybe all of them. I know Basement Blues is going to grab all of them. But I think, and I love Tony, I say that respectfully. I think a lot of people are going to grab maybe one or two because they're fun and they're different. But in terms of new features, I would expect nothing new from them. But they look fun. So I'm going to grab a couple for sure. Phil, how are you doing? Good to see you, man. Are you excited for the 4K Psycho box set? How would you rank the four of them, best to worst? Great question. I'm very excited, Vinyl Steel. I haven't pre-ordered it. I need to. I would go 2 is the best. I'm on that train, I guess. I love the first movie, but 2 is just really unique. Written by the great The writer. I love the guy. What's his name? Son of a bitch. I had the poster up, but I put it down. Anyway, the director of Fright Night. What the fuck is his name? Let me look it up. Now I'm just annoyed with myself. Let's see. The writer. What is his goddamn name? I love the guy. Tom Holland. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting old. Tom Holland. I think Psycho 2 is the best. Then I'd go Psycho. Then I'd go Psycho 4. Then I'd go Psycho 3. I really, really, really love Psycho 4. I like all of them, but I think Psycho 4 is it's one of the only, like, it's a really smart prequel because it also has a compelling story going on now. I say now, during the time, like in real time. And there's a radio aspect to 4 that I'm a really big broadcast radio fan. I love everything about radio. I love, the aesthetic of the microphones and the sound of radio, and I like that element to 4 a lot, and I thought it was a great prequel. So I'd actually give 4 the edge over 3. But 3, for a lot of people, what's great about 3 is it's really the 80s slasher of the bunch, both literally and figuratively, because it really introduces a lot of the sleazy elements that people like, and they not necessarily quirky characters, but definitely interesting personalities with Jeff Fahey and things like that. So 3 really plays into that, and Anthony directed it himself, which was impressive. But something about 4 I really like. I think 4 has a really, really nice charm to it. So I'd give 4 the edge over 3. Are you getting the remaining Child's Plays on 4K, and will you be doing reviews of all of them? At this moment in time, I have Bride pre-ordered. I have Seed of Chucky pre-ordered. Yes, I have Seed, and I have Curse of Chucky. I do not have Cult pre-ordered. That's not to say that I won't. But yes, I will do individual reviews for at least the ones that I get. For sure. Interesting point. We already have a rated R Five Nights at Freddy's. It's called Willy's Wonderland, which is a great film. I think it's really fun, super entertaining. So, I think we got another super chat. Let's see what we got. Thank you, Thomas, with a $9 super chat. I really appreciate that. What movie do you think will make more money, and what movie will people like more? The Exorcist, Believer, or Saw X? Great question. Now, this is purely speculation. I think The Exorcist will probably make more money, but I think in terms of the horror bubble world, maybe Saw will have like a more middle of the road. Like, yeah, it was pretty good. It was better than it had any right to be for a 10th entry. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on that though, dude. It's getting hard to say because you're looking at a requel, remake, whatever you want to call it. I hate quibbling over the definition because I'm always wrong. Somebody always corrects me. But you're looking at that going up against a 10th sequel. It's anybody's game at this point. I can tell you what I think I might. I think I may enjoy Saw X a little bit more than The Exorcist. Maybe I won't, but I think if I had to place like a gentleman's dollar bet, that's probably where I would go for now. But I think that The Exorcist is probably going to be a smash hit box office. I think it's going to probably do a lot of money. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your super chat. Let me give you a little quick one. Let's see.
Listen to me. The next time you're at the theater, buy a box of milk duds or sneak them in, and go to the hot butter and drizzle it all into the box of milk duds. It is the best thing you'll ever have in your life.
So he says. Thank you so much, Antonis. Think we will get the Sleepaway Camp movie soon on 4K? I don't. I really don't. Now, how do I know that? I have no clue. Kevin, my gut instinct says do not sell those Blu-rays. Don't sell them. That's my gut instinct right now. Do you think we'll get the house films on 4K? I think so for those, Austin. I know that Germany is already on top of that. That sometimes means that the wheels are going to start turning a little bit slower in America, but they will turn. Now, I don't think that the Sleepaway Camp movies may never come out. I just don't think it's going to be soon. So, not my truth, the truth. Is Seed of Chucky good? Honestly, here's the thing. So, I think Seed of Chucky is certainly a horror comedy for sure. I think it's very unique. Obviously, when I did the Unita for it, I played it up like I was miserable and stuff. It's a very different kind of film. I feel like and this was something that I heard Don Mancini talk about. It deals with a lot of elements that are relevant to today's world, I guess. It felt like to Don Mancini, he talked about this on the Post Mortem podcast, which is an incredible podcast, which was Mick Garris, who actually directed Psycho 4, by the way. He said that Seed of Chucky was more or less, it felt like his coming out movie, because he was doing something very ahead of its time. And when you look at Seed, it's incredible because it certainly has this really big gay fan base, which is so cool. I watched Seed of Chucky with my wife 4 or 5 months ago. She loved it. She had a great time with it. And it's funny to me. It's like over the top, ridiculous. He's jerking off. He's doing all kinds of silly crap. I don't hate that movie. I really don't. I really think that the one that I have the most issue with is Cult. And I think Cult is a gorgeous looking film, but the multiple things at once, that's what really kills me, guys. It's just like, what does this mean to, he was in a factory in part 2, guys. Like, he was in a factory with thousands of dolls in part 2. Thousands of dolls. Andy and Kyle wouldn't have stood a chance. That's what really just makes me go, oh my God, what the hell is going on? So for better or for worse, Seed of Chucky does not do that. So that's how I feel. That's the truth. That's the truth, not my truth. Somebody asked about Talk to Me. I'm sorry, I lost the comment, but I haven't seen it. Oh, here it is. Lewis said, what do you think about Talk to Me? I haven't seen it yet, but I want to. I'm going to try to see it this weekend because I've heard some people tell me it was actually a pretty damn good film. So Johnny Darko says, if you could pick any Scream Factory title to be released on 4K, which would it be? I think mine would be Silent Hill. I hope they go all the way out on that one. Great answer. I would agree with that, but my gut instinct would be Day of the Dead, George Romero, one of the greatest 80s horror films of all time. That's what I want. Waiting for the stateside release of Phantasm on 4K. Clay, great. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Are you excited for the Mutilator too? I'm excited to see Piz's cameo in that for sure. Definitely. What's up, 543? Crack open a colon, brother. I'm almost done with this. Ulfman 111, love the show. Can you do a review of the 4K World War Z? If I grab it, I've seen the movie. I like it. It was never something I felt really compelled to own, but maybe Ulfman. I can't promise, but if I can get it cheap or something, I'll give it a watch for sure and check out the 4K. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Do you think they'll announce a Bloodsport North American 4K before the end of the year? I really pray so. That has VSU, whatever, VSA, Vinegar Syndrome Academy, whatever. That has that written all over it. And I keep holding out for that. I know that Germany has given a plethora of great releases, but I just keep holding out for that great Bloodsport American release. I am getting the Texas Chainsaw game. I'm very excited for that. It's funny, Clay. I saw a picture of Jennifer Tilly on Instagram maybe a day or so ago, and the woman is stunning. I don't know what kind of potion, if she's drinking from the fountain of youth. She still looks 40. It's incredible. It's incredible. Bobby says in Child's Play 3, Don wanted to do the multiple Chuckies, but didn't have the budget. I know, yeah, and I'm so glad that the budget wasn't there. I just really don't like that idea at all. I really don't. I just really, really, really don't. Do you think the Uninvited or Your Next could get a Scream Factory Collector's Edition? Honestly, 4K Media Guy, it's just so hard to say at this point. I don't know what their schedule with guessing Scream Factory's schedule is a shot in the dark, to say the least. You know what I mean? No telling what they do. Like, it made sense for them to do Creepshow, but you almost thought they would have done that a while. Then again, it might have felt like it was just way too close to the Blu-ray release. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. I would like You're Next though. I would like that. What's your release of the year so far? That's a great question. My release of the year so far is definitely the Empire of Screams Arrow video box set, for sure. I've done 2 videos on that, went over every detail I could. I watched every release, super happy with it, loved it. Great release. Let's think. We got a super chat from Kevin. Oh, what's up, Kevin? Thank you, man. Will the Arrow video box set go back in stock, or is it out of print? There is a chance it could come back in stock, but there's also a chance it couldn't, Kevin, and I'll tell you why. There's a chance the way those licenses work with MGM, which didn't Amazon just buy MGM or something? Somebody bought MGM. It might have been Amazon. But regardless, there is a chance that release could have been under a licensing agreement for that print run for X amount of releases. There is that chance. That's kind of how things happen with these releases. Now, if Arrow could make that known to the public, it would be extremely helpful, because then you could know if you missed out on it. Okay, let me go on eBay and try to get it now before I have to pay triple the price of retail. My gut instinct is there is a chance it could be out of print. I'd love to be wrong, but my gut instinct says you better have gotten it. You better have gotten it. Thank you so much, man, for the $4.99. I appreciate that. Don't hold. Yeah, you're probably right. Don't hold out. The German release is basically complete in English and packed with stuff. I believe it. Austin, I not only got My Best Friend is a Vampire, I watched it, and I'm going to be reviewing it and have my review up for that tomorrow. So, I don't know, Ferdinand. I don't know. I'm excited to see that, though. Some gameplay footage of that. Melon Matt 93, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Think we will ever get a new proper collection of the Nightmare series? My gut instinct is we're going to get a 4K of the first movie next year. That's my gut instinct. You know what I mean? And somebody said earlier on the show that the Disc Father, who has seemingly been correct on a number of releases, said, one second, that he heard something to the effect of that we are going to be getting some new releases for the film soon, but it's not even going to be a box set. So, there's that. My gut instinct says at the very least, though, Matt, we're going to get a 4K of the first movie next year for the 40th anniversary. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't think Scream Factory is going to get it. I just don't. And if it happens, it's not going to be for a number of years, because they've basically said that they've tried. I even got somebody that I know was friends with somebody who was working on the special features. Now, you guys have to take my word on this. I obviously can't say who I talked to, but it's one of the most trustworthy people I could imagine. That was legitimate friends with somebody that was working on the special features. Now, there was a time where Scream Factory was, in fact, prepping something like this and working on it. And then all of a sudden something happened and they were told, because I think it's third-party people that Scream Factory hires to create special features. The way I think Vestron has Red Shirt Pictures, the Michael Felcher company, to do special features for their releases. Something happened, and the company that was working on features in terms of interviews, etc., for a Scream Factory box set, they were told, "Stop, we're pulling the plug," and something happened. This was a couple of years ago, so that's where we're at, man. Maybe a 4K the first movie next year. Thank you so much, Mel and Matt, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Here's a good question. Muzak says, "Do you think Arrow will release a volume 2 of Empire Screams, and what movies would you want in the set?" That's a great question. They could do a part 2, and I think there's still some cool titles they could put in there. But maybe not, because you think about some of the more premier titles that they could use. Because like I would consider Robot Jocks a premier title. I would consider Dolls a premier title. Where's another logical place to go, Muzak? Ghoulies. Okay. Well, oh, never mind. MVD's putting out a fork, and they're going to do a great job. Believe me, I'm not upset that MVD is doing it. They're a great company. As a matter of fact, one of the best right now. And I'm not just saying that, but they're doing Ghoulies, and they're also doing Ghoulies 2. So throw those out the window. Maybe Arrow Video will do a 4K of Reanimator and put that in a box set. They could do that. They can still do a box, because Arrow has done box sets where they put the first movie on 4K and the sequels in Blu-ray. The Children of the Corn trilogy Blu-ray set is phenomenal from Arrow Video, and it's a 4K of Children of the Corn 1, then a Blu-ray of 2 and 3. And it's lovely. It's a great trilogy. As a matter of fact, I'm a proponent. I'm a proponent of doing something like that. Being somebody that's 4K, I don't need everything to be on 4K. Children of the Corn 2 and 3 perfectly fine on upscaled Blu-rays. So they could do something where they do a 4K for Reanimator in the box set. Maybe they could do. Actually, I don't think Bride of Reanimator was a Empire title. I think that was like Alliance or something. I think Empire had folded and it was under a new company that Bride came out. So I don't even think that could be an Empire title. I'd have to think about it. I have to look up a list of titles. Could they do one though? For probably, because MGM I think absorbed a lot of the Empire catalog when Charlie sold it. He kept some stuff like Trancers, but a lot of stuff got sold. Emeraldine 11, did you get Needful Things? No one's talking about that. Not only am I getting it, Emeraldine, it's shipped. I'm waiting for it to arrive, but I will be reviewing that on 4K. So be sure to hit the bell. Come back to my channel when I review that. Definitely going to do that. Let's see what we got. I know, but at least Puppet Master 3 came out incredible. I don't know that I've seen Vacancy 2. I can just tell you that I really like the first one. So, don't know if you're into action movies, but Shout Factory has the streaming rights for Point Break. Does that mean anything for a potential physical release? I would foresee Point Break getting a 4K soon, for sure. I am excited for Sleepy Hollow. I recently kind of I reconnected with that film because I saw it as a kid. Quite frankly, it kind of tripped me out as a kid, but it wasn't something I ever felt the need to revisit as I got older. I felt like, oh, that's like an old story kind of movie. I'm not interested in it. But then I learned that like Tim Burton went into that movie with kind of like a little chip on his shoulder and made it a little bit more angrier than he probably intended it to because of the stuff that went down with I think that that Superman movie he wanted to do. So he went into Sleepy Hollow with some aggression, and I'm definitely gonna grab that on 4K. Definitely. How does I Married an Axe Murderer look? It looked phenomenal. I'm gonna I may not review this separately, but I'm definitely gonna do like a collection video because I got this. Some other stuff like Cabin in the Woods on Steelbook. I'm going to do a collection video, and I'm going to make sure I've seen everything. Some stuff I'm doing specific reviews for. My Best Friend's a Vampire. I'm definitely reviewing that. Needful Things. Like, I agree. Whoever brought that up earlier, like, nobody's talking about that. I'm definitely reviewing that. So, but I'll talk, but it looks incredible. It looked phenomenal, actually. So, I think it's worth you to revisit it. Let's see. I think I caught up with the chat. Oh, nice. You got it from Orbit DVD. I've been trying to shop from them a little bit more because they've been really good about getting stuff in. Listen, guys, I don't want to make this a long one. I've had a great time with everybody tonight. We're right at an hour and some change. If you guys enjoy this, do me a favor. If you enjoy these solo streams, obviously I do my Planet Dirty stuff and all. But if you guys enjoy the solo streams where I just answer questions, I'm a little less animated, right? A little bit more chill, and we just talk. Do me a favor. Drop a like on this. Drop a comment. Let me know that, hey, I do enjoy the solo streams, blah, blah, blah. Let me know. And I'll make it a point to factor these in as well, because I do enjoy answering the questions as best I can. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me on such short notice. We had about 150 people here tonight, which was incredible. So like I said, guys, drop a like for me before you leave, please. I'd really appreciate it. Drop a comment below. Let me know you enjoyed these, guys, and we'll do it again. So just know I've got a lot of physical media reviews coming up. And it's going to be busy. So we're going to get some Halloween decorations up. I'm in the mood. I'm ready for Halloween. But all of you out there right now, have a great rest of your week. Take care. Be safe. All that good stuff. LCHH loves you. You guys have a great rest of your night. God bless and Godspeed.